To be informed with the papers. Ate Bonaventure has just joined me and he will be taking you through that page. Good morning to you, Ate.
Good morning, Vanessa.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
Eh, did the rain? Were you caught by the rain?
No, the rain didn't
It did not meet
catch
you.
me.
Hey, how I wish you could have beat me today.
No way. I'm always prepared for that.
Even I
Yeah.
wish it touched you a little bit today. It's Friday blessings. It's pouring seriously in Douala at this particular moment. And okay, but we are there to make it right. So if you are in Douala, keep yourselves warm. Put on your boat, put on your raincoat, and get your umbrellas. For those that are in stock, just find somewhere. Mm? Just find a shelter. You stay there when the rain stops. You continue because here in Douala, it's not easy. So Ate, what says today?
Yeah, we have the outcome of the presidential election, what is happening in the vote counting commission, with three political parties, two asking for total annulment of the presidential poll, and one asking for annulment in 7 regions.
Annulment in 7 regions. So
Yes.
you mean that elections should be cancelled?
Of course, that is what they are asking for, because
Cancelled.
they, according to them,
All right.
the
Great
election was
transition there.
marked by some irregularities.
Mm.
Then we are also going to talk of economy
Let us talk
and
of
other societal issues. We
some
are,
societal issues.
yeah.
All right. Let us have a transition, and when we come back, we'll be taking them through that picture.
Good morning, dear televiewers, and welcome to this last edition of the week concerning press review. We begin right away with the Guardian Post newspaper, which says after claiming victory, Kamto petitions for partial cancellation of the October 7 poll, while Cabra and Oshi called for total annulment. Concerning the crisis in the northwest and southwest region, the English Daily announces the release of the kidnapped Dio of Kumbo, adding that an Anglophone SDO in the South region is being accused of supporting secessionists. Tumi insists AAC3 must hold in Boya, and Ntakuda throws light on Tumbo Njiron land dispute are also important stories that you would want to read on the Guardian Post newspaper. Mutation Daily has come back to the story of fake elections observers who organized a press conference a day after the presidential election to appreciate the general conduct of the polls. After conducting an investigation, the Ministry of Territorial Administration and the Cameroon branch of Amnesty International, the paper proposes new revelations. It has also written a report on what has been taking place at the National Vote Counting Commission. It captions "A Day at the Esombe Commission." We will now move over to Informatin, which captions "The auto-proclaimed winner demands the annulment of the presidential polls." The CRM candidate, Professor Maurice Kamto, has deposited a litigation at the Constitutional Council for the cancellation of votes in 7 regions. Still on the presidential election, the paper says the boss of the CPDM Central Committee lost election in his hometown. Informateur has also written on environmental protection in schools in Yaoundé and the concretization of the mechanization of agriculture in Ibolova. Le Jour's main title today is in sports, and it says conditions of eligibility of the president of FECAFOOT has been tightened. The new statutes of the federation will include several potential candidates will exclude several potential candidates from vying the top management. In a human interest story, the Jour tells us that campus police in the University of Yaoundé 1 have beaten a student to death. We turn over to La Nouvelle Expression, which captions on political alternance how Kamto wants to liberate Paul Biya. According to the article, the candidate who autoproclaimed himself winner of the October 7 polls is claiming his victory so as to free Paul Biya from a group of persons and lobbies that have taken him hostage. Mayor of Kumbo freed, Yondo Black supports Kamto and preoccupation of the organizers of the Anglophone General Conference on Cameroon's votes, on Anglophones' vote, are other stories you would want to read on La Nouvelle Expression. We move over to Le du Sahel, which in a banner headline says a duo has sequestered two journalists in Gaoundéré. The Tri-Willy also writes on frightening anarchy on Cameroon's land reserves and a disease that is fast gaining grounds in the extreme north region. We now talk economy with Ecomatin, which captions financial inclusion, why Cameroonians prefer to stay away from banks and insurance companies. It also makes mention of risky opening of an industrial zone in Bamenda. Despite being an appropriate city, the industrial investment for industrial investment, the social political climate is not favorable to carry out such an initiative at this moment. We end with L'Economie, which tells us this morning that there is an opposition on the liquidation of Bisec Bank. A request to this effect was tabled at the Ministry of Commerce on October 6. Also read official market prices of basic commodities in our markets. Vanessa, that is what we could gather this morning for our televiewers on what is making news in the stands. As I've always said, the next thing is to go to the stands, get a copy at just 400 CFA francs so that you can get the details and enrich yourself with information.
Thank you very much, Ate, for the press review, the last edition. Uh, Quite so far, it has been a success with the papers this week.
Yeah, of course, especially with politics, everybody is trying to give the best, to give trends, and then with all what is happening, I think Cameroonians enrich themselves with information. They got to find out experts' take on certain topical issues which were subjects of discussion on both the traditional and the social media.
Thank you very much. To greet some few persons, it is Friday.
Yeah,
Happy weekend to some few persons.
I want to wish a happy weekend to my grandmother Ngu Felicia, who is watching me right now in Santa. I want to greet my
In Santa.
yes,
All the
of
people of
course.
Santa.
I want to greet my
Milan.
sister-in-law in Bepanda, Nicolene Shura, and my elder brother Ngu Franklin.
All right. A happy weekend to you all. That is Ate Bonaventures wish for you. And somebody just texts me. The person says, "Good morning to you, Vanessa. Good morning to you. I want to wish my brother from Christian in Bonaberry a good morning." Good morning. The person hasn't signed. Person hasn't signed. Please. Okay. When you text, you sign so that Fun Christian might be listening to you, but he will say, "Who is the one wishing me a good morning? Who is could be the one?" So when you text us, you sign with a name